and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with the Samantha stories. Chapter 4, Gone. By next Tuesday afternoon, Samantha read, "Actions speak louder than..." The sewing hour was almost over when there was a gentle knock on the parlor door. "Come in," said Grandmary, and Jessie came in dressed to leave for home. She curtsied quickly and waited for Grandmary to speak. Samantha thought Jessie always looked elegant. She was so tall and held her head so high. Jessie looked especially grand today. She was wearing a light round summer coat that almost came to the floor. But Samantha wondered why she was leaving so early. "Yes, Jessie?" questioned Grandmary. "Ma'am, I've come to say I won't be coming back now," Jessie said. Samantha almost jumped out of the chair. "Jessie, why?" she asked. Grandmary silenced her with a look that said children should be seen and not heard. She spoke to Jessie. "Very well, Jessie. I'd like to thank you for your service. You've been a great help and a pleasure to us. We shall miss you very much." Samantha was horrified. What was Grandmary saying? How could she just let Jessie go away like that? "You can see Hawkins for your pay," continued Grandmary. "There will be a bonus for you." Jessie curtsied again. "Thank you, ma'am." But before she stopped to smile at Samantha. Be very good, Miss Samantha. You know I'll miss you." Samantha was too stunned to answer. She watched Jessie go. Then her words rushed out. "Grandmary, why is Jessie leaving? And why did you let her?" Grandmary's eyes never moved from the lacework in her hands. "Please sit down, Samantha," she said. "A lady must not ask questions of her elders. This is Jessie's business." Samantha sat down, but she could only fidget with her sewing. It seemed as if every stitch she put in her sampler had to be pulled out again. She didn't understand. Why would Jessie leave without explaining? At last the sewing hour was over. Samantha curtsied quickly when Grandmary excused her. Then she rushed out of the parlor to find Mrs. Hawkins, the cook. There was never any problem finding Mrs. Hawkins. She was always in the kitchen, and the kitchen was always filled with the wonderful smells of Mrs. Hawkins' cooking. Today she stood by the big wooden table in the center of the room, rolling pastry for meat pie. She wasn't surprised to see Samantha. The kitchen was one of Samantha's favorite places. She came here often to talk and to eat treats Mrs. Hawkins saved her. "Hello, love," Mrs. Hawkins said. "Why are you rushing so? You sit down and tell me what's the matter. You look like thunder." Samantha flopped herself on the chair. "Jessie's gone away," she said. "Yes, dear, I know." Mrs. Hawkins knew. Everyone knew but Samantha. She brushed away a fly that buzzed in the kitchen window. "But why?" she asked. "Grandmary didn't even try to stop her." Now, love, you must not fret about it," Mrs. Hawkins said. She took an onion from a bunch hanging by the door and began to peel it. "There are some things you just don't understand. Don't you think your Grandmary knows best?" How could Samantha possibly know if Grandmary knew best? How could she know if anybody knew best? She didn't know what anybody knew. She pushed back her chair and hurried from the kitchen to the butler's pantry. She hoped Hawkins would be there, and he was. Hawkins was whistling softly and polishing silver. He pulled out a chair for Samantha. He was used to her popping up in strange places. They had her best talks when Samantha followed him around on his jobs, waxing furniture, beating carpets, or washing the windows in Grandmary's house. Now Hawkins handed Samantha a polishing cloth. He knew how much easier it is to talk when your hands were busy. Samantha rubbed at a sugar bowl. "Jessie is gone," she said. "I know," said Hawkins. Samantha wasn't surprised. "Well, Grandmary did just say, go see Hawkins for your pay." "Nobody will tell me why," Samantha went on. Hawkins smiled and his eyes were understanding. When he spoke, it didn't help much. "Believe me, Miss Samantha, Jessie's fine," he said. "I know it isn't easy, but sometimes when you're young you have to have trust." Samantha didn't feel much like talking anymore. She pushed back the sugar bowl and cloth, straightened the chair, and slowly left the pantry. As she shuffled back past the parlor, Grandmary called, "Samantha?" "Yes, ma'am?" "I've been very pleased with your efforts these past few weeks," Grandmary said. "If you go upstairs, you will find something on your bed." For a minute, Jessie Samantha forgot about Jessie's leaving. She even forgot to say thank you. She ran upstairs 2 at a time. Inside her room, Samantha stopped short. There in the middle of her bed was a doll dressed in shiny blue silk. She had a white silk hat to match. Her soft china face and hands were rosy and delicate. "Oh, Lydia," Samantha whispered. She picked up the doll gently and then hugged her very close. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.